All right, so Bob weighing in from spring, and now we bring on Brian Ching. So it's kind of an interesting time period here, Brian, with the U.S., and we will talk a little U.S. because you're such a focal point of the team. But it is an interesting time period to see criticism, healthy criticism. I'm not talking about people just, you can't say so-and-so sucks. Okay, you can't do that. That's not the way it works. You have to back it up with some information. But it is an interesting time period, and it was a great response.
The game against Egypt? Yeah, fantastic response. I think if you look at the first game, I think the U.S. came out prepared. You look at that first half when they played Italy, 11v11, I thought they did all right. And even when Rico got sent off, we created a number of great opportunities. And I think after, the next half, it's hard to keep down a team, especially that caliber, for that long, without them breaking through. And I think that, that kind of broke the spirit of the team for a little bit, and I think with the Brazil game coming so quickly that, maybe we didn't get our heads right, but having said that, after 2 disappointing games, I think to come out and dominate Egypt the way we did and get the result that we needed, especially, considering that, they should have had a guy sent off. Egypt should have had a guy sent off for the handball in the box. It's amazing. I mean, that's a true test of, that's the USA teams of the past and the ones that we're used to, and I think that, we responded well.
When you see that game, and I know you're watching it at home, you must have felt a great sense of pride with what those guys accomplished, even though you're not there.
Oh, huge. I mean, I was jumping up and down, flipping back and forth between the Brazil game and the U.S. game. And
do you jump off your couch at home and, pound your fist in the air?
Oh, for sure. I mean, that game I did.
I do
I mean, there are a lot of games that, sometimes I don't, but that game I did, because I know the criticism that was coming around the team, and I know the way that, the team was kind of under a microscope, and the way people were criticizing the team, and for the guys to respond that way, and it's difficult, extremely difficult to come out and battle when you haven't been playing your best, and when kind of everybody's saying that you're not good enough, and then they come out and they respond that way. I think that's a true test of the character of the team, and I think it's a positive sign.
Brian Ching joining us here on 790 The Sports Animal. You're in these camps. Tell us about the intensity of the coach, his personality, because we all know Bob Bradley is an intense guy, and he's a highly competitive guy.
Yeah, we always joke around that you can never get him to crack a smile. He's got that.
He did against Egypt, though. I saw.
Oh, he did. It looked like he was going to cry there at one point after they scored a couple goals. So,
no, it was a sense of relief, wasn't it?
I think so. I mean, he's under a tremendous amount of pressure. But some of the pressure warranted, some of it unwarranted. I mean, I would think if you look at Italy, their results. Yeah. Were a lot worse than.
Yeah, how do you think they got what reception they got going back to Italy after this tournament?
Exactly. I mean, they were the number one team in the world after the World Cup, and then they get bounced out. But then you look at the U.S. I mean, we played 2 games there, not supposed to win. We don't win. We get 2 red cards. And you could go either way on those red cards. And then Costa Rica, we've never won in Costa Rica before. But maybe it's just the way the team responded and the results, been 3 goals in each game. But, I think we came out, responded well, and I think Bob is a very intense guy. And, you'd like to see him lighten it up every once in a while. But, he knows what he's going after and he's trying to achieve. And, he keeps the team kind of focused in that direction.
Now, you yourself, looking at the media and maybe the way they reacted to the U.S., can you say that could have been a source of motivation down there going into Game 3? Is it fair to say?
I think so. I think a lot of times we play best when we have a chip on our shoulder. I think the U.S.-Mexico games, we always have a chip on our shoulder. I think look at the way they responded after the Costa Rica game, after the El Salvador game in El Salvador. there was a lot of criticism after those games, and then the team came out and responded. I'd like to say we learned from those things, and hopefully, we won't have to respond to games, and we can come in, and get the results that we want. Especially start making bigger strides against some of the better teams.
Brian Ching, Houston Dynamo, joining us here, had a huge goal in the 1-1 draw with Real Salt Lake. Unfortunately, got injured, did not get to go to the Confederations Cup. To go back to the whole media thing, does it get to you sometimes? Does it get to you, or because it can bother you? I mean, I've had people say negative things about me from radio or TV, and sometimes it stings you for a minute, but you also recognize it's part of the business you're in, and you are putting yourself out there, so you are kind of open for criticism. And the flip side of that is you like performing for fans.
Yeah, and then on the flip side also is, when you do well, people are praising you, and that's always good. But for me, it's, you're always going to get criticized, and it's just trying to limit the amount of stuff that you read, because if you're constantly reading all this negative stuff, then, it tends to creep into the back of your mind that, hey, maybe I'm not, doing this, or maybe I'm not that good. And so for me personally, I just try to stay away from it, and I think a lot of guys do the same. They try not to read into it too much, and just try to go out there and respond, because, I'll be the first one to tell anybody that I didn't have a good game. I know when I don't play well. I know when the team doesn't play well. I don't need anybody else telling us that. So I just try to stay away from the comments, but it's part of the game, like you said, and I think it's great. If you look at how much the NFL's criticized, or how much game by game in the NBA playoffs, each player is criticized, it's a good sign. And seeing that more people are paying attention. It's always sad though that more people seem to pay attention when things are going bad than when they're going good, or they're more likely maybe to make comments when things are going bad, and less likely to praise when things are going good. You guys seem to really get it here in Houston. I mean, you guys get that. Hey, that's part of the territory, and you also get that. Hey, you're also a part of it, growing in the media here at this time in your careers. Yeah, I think the Houston soccer community has been fantastic. A lot better than when we were in San Jose. Yeah, and I didn't mean just Houston. I just mean in general around the country. Yeah, I think it's growing. I think because the more and more people have played soccer nowadays than in the past, and I think the more you continue to see people play soccer and grow up knowing the game, the more and more those people are going to be, out there criticizing or praising or actually just following the game. All right. Can you sit through a commercial break and do a couple more minutes with us? Any pressing engagements? I got to get you out of here quickly. No, I'm okay. All right. We got Brian Ching for a couple more minutes, so stick with us here on 790 The Sports Animal. 7:42. We're back with more. We'll take your phone call, 713-212-5790.